Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. These are the survivors of our 2025 vegetable garden. They are the bell pepper plants and the jalapeno plants, and they are still going strong, but the rest of the garden has already died down. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be transplanting these pepper plants into pots, and I'm going to try to extend them a little bit longer so that I can have fresh bell peppers and fresh jalapenos with my meals. I love to pick my own vegetables and peppers and cook with them, and so I'm going to try to keep these around a little bit longer. I have to kind of move them out of this space because we're going to be mowing all of this down and getting it all back just to being regular grass growing. So I'm going to move these pepper plants closer to the house where I have a little bit of a mulched kind of flower pot area or flower bed area, I guess you would call it. And so I think there is enough sun and all of that still that they will be growing pretty good. So pepper plants are very resilient. They can be transplanted like this. You do have to be careful when you move them that you don't rip too many of the roots off. So you want to keep as much soil as you can when you're transplanting them, and move them into a big enough pot. And pepper plants usually don't need a ton of water, so you can just transplant them, wait a little bit of time for them to kind of settle in, and then water them. So with these pepper plants, as you can see from the beginning of the video, they had quite a few bell peppers that were growing. They definitely weren't as big as they were earlier in the season, but I went ahead and picked all of those off. So you want to pick off all of the bell peppers and maybe even trim down some of the leaves if you feel that is best. That way that the plant can focus on rooting in its new home. So what I'm doing here is just kind of opening up the soil here, and so I can get to the roots of this pepper plant, and I'm going to try to gently get it out. Sometimes this can be challenging, and I know that in moving some of these pepper plants, I did rip up some of the roots, and so it's almost impossible not to do so. You do have to transplant the plant. So I will give you an update as to how these pepper plants are doing once I transplant them and I give them a little bit more time as they are re-rooting into their new home. So I have quite a few plants to do. I think I have about 5 or 6 of these. I'm going to put some in pots, and then some of the other ones I have sort of like a water trough area where I had made that into like a flower bed. And that's where I had my zinnias this year, but the zinnias I think got way too much water this year, and so they didn't really grow. The ones in the pots grew, but the ones in this particular flower bed did not. So I'm going to use that space to put my pepper plants in, and then some of them will be in pots. If only a few of them survive, that will make me happy. It's really not something that I'm really believing that all of them are going to survive. This is kind of traumatic to the plant, but I think that they will be able to survive maybe a few of them. And so we'll get a few more bell peppers and maybe jalapenos. So I am in Texas, and in Texas we have very hot weather, and the pepper plants do seem to kind of live a little bit longer than maybe in some other areas. I think they could even really live year long. You can bring them in your home as well and set them near a window, and you can water them and take care of them indoors as well. But I'm choosing to keep them outdoors this year. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. And like I said, I'll keep you updated on how they are doing. So if you're interested in following along my homestead journey, please subscribe to my channel and come back for my videos. I put out a lot of homesteading content, gardening, and cooking, and anything that brings me joy. So gardening is one of those things that brings me joy. It's really something that grounds me to the earth. There's something special about working with dirt and really getting your hands in the earth. It's a really deep connection there, and it brings a lot of peace, clarity, and it can actually reduce your anxiety. So there's been lots of studies around that as well. So give it a try. I wasn't really a gardener up until more recently, and so it's something that I now really enjoy doing. And, you know, our vegetable garden kind of came to an end due to the hot weather and it just coming to an end altogether. I still wanted to have a little piece of that garden, so I'm doing that with keeping these pepper plants alive. So there you can see where I potted them. I put 2 in these bigger pots here in the front, and there in the back, that kind of green looking oval thing is an old water trough we had. And I'm going to put the rest of them in there when I'm done with these. So right now I'm just watering these pepper plants, trying to get them situated in their new home. And this is kind of a little bit of a shaded area, but not too much. There's a tree there, but it is a fruit tree. Fruit trees don't grow very big. And so there's still quite a bit of sun that these pepper plants will get here. So I'm going to water them. You want to make sure that your pot has holes at the bottom so that it can drain. The pepper plants don't like to stay with too much water at their feet. So this is what the trough looked like after I cleared it away from the zinnias that were there. And now I've put in my pepper plants, and that's what they look like. You can see they're already growing some little jalapeños, and you know, there's new growth on them. So that is a good sign. I went ahead and watered them, and so they are in their new home producing and doing well. So I'm really happy that they are in their new home and that I will get some more peppers before they die off in the winter. Thank you so much for coming along for today's video. I will catch you in our next video. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe.